This is Barnstable Today for Thursday, April 16th. Welcome aboard. I'm Mark Mumford. And just a quick reminder that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
Spring is really kicking in over at Sandy Neck. That's our focus today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Friel.
At this week's meeting of the Sandy Neck Board, Sandy Neck Director Nina Coleman updated the board.
The house opened on April 1st. We're open every day 9 to 4. And we have extended staffing hours where we are keeping an eye on the beach. So it's not like we're leaving at 4, but that's as our business hours. The fencing is up. The Jeep Club came out a couple of weekends ago and got the fencing up. They're amazing how fast they can get that fencing up. We did probably about 4 miles in 3.5 hours. We just banged it out. So
it looks good.
Yep, it's all up. We lost a lot of beach, so there's some areas, if you guys go out, there's some areas that I didn't put any fencing up because it's just too low. And the dune is too eroded, so that, it wasn't worth it.
By 5 and 6?
Between 5 and 6 is a real mess, yep.
Oh yeah, it's severe.
Mm-hmm. Thus is the beach. She changes on us.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm working on staffing right now. We had 100% return in the gatehouse, but we are still looking for field staff. So that's kind of been my mission lately, is trying to find some more field staff. The plovers have returned. The first day we saw plover was the 21st of March, which was the exact same day as last year, which is kind of odd. At this point on the off-road vehicle beach, we only have 3 pairs, but that's easily changed. We change every day, and we do have a pair along the sandwich line like we always do. So we're about on the same level as always with the plovers. We're busy watching them at this point and determining where they are going to nest. That's really our mission right now, is to find out where the pairs are and eventually keep an eye on what they're doing so that we can find out when they put that first egg down. We have no DBA is here, but I just want to remind everybody that the cleanup is April 26th.
26, right.
So I'm sure they can speak to that as well, but there'll be a beach cleanup and a fencing project.
It's 9 to noon?
I believe it's 9:30, Wendy?
9:30.
9:30 to noon, yep. Bring your Sandy Neck shirts.
Coyote expert Jonathan Way, a lifelong Barnstable resident, appeared at this week's meeting ready to field questions about his favorite topic, starting with an inquiry from Chair Richard French.
Thanks.
So what, do we know how many animals are out there? Do we have a sense from your observations?
Professional opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very safe estimate that there's no more than 1 pack that lives out there, because it's very consistent whenever we catch one, including a pup, that they go on and off the beach.
Yeah.
And it's better to kind of think of the guys out there as using Sandy Neck as maybe half their range and down to Route 6A as the other half. That pup was interesting because he was born and spent most of his time in the Sandwich area, those neighborhoods off of the Carlton Way, Cranberry Way, and kind of the backwoods there.
Yeah.
And he kind of went out to Sandy Neck and was, of course, kind of in the middle around that gatehouse area, I believe, when he was killed. All the other ones that we've monitored have really gone down to Route 6A. That pup never did that until November. And I say pup, he was, little over 7 months old when he got killed, 7.5, so he was full size. And he didn't look like this little guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was interesting. I really wondered what his parents did, if they did all of Sandy Neck, or if they went down to the mainland, kind of an oval shape. But I never really found that out. But it's a real safe estimate that any family unit out there, 3 to 5 animals, depending on the time of the year, uses that area, and then off the beach is their range. And unfortunately, I don't know exactly what's going on the past 6 to 9 months or so. 6 months or so. 6 months.
Jonathan Way also gave an overview of the coyote situation for the town in general.
But good size.
So I guess kind of an overall picture. I'm kind of in transition. The state's essentially saying being a high school teacher is not a good way to do this research, and I'm basically saying that's ridiculous. You know, it's ridiculous how difficult it is to get a permit to do research when you can kind of do other stuff without a problem with coyotes. So I'm in between with that, which affects not just Barnstable, Sandy Neck, but all of Barnstable for that matter. So in not having a current permit right now, Eric Strauss and I are trying to figure out, well, am I going to be going through Boston College? The plan was for me to just be independent. So there was an issue in my neighborhood, which is right off the Lumber Mill Road, of residents calling up and reporting. And when I found out, which I was, I think, the last person in the town to know, I moved the trap. It was a no-brainer. Get it out of the woods, stop baiting it, and the coyotes will not visit as often. And I did that. I talked to the health inspector for the town, and the state just kind of took that as evidence not to give me permits, having no idea what I did. Of literally, I'm not lying, but literally when I found out after like a chain of commands. And the problem was that the permit was going through Boston College, and the state was avoiding me for issues we've had in the past, for better or worse. And so we're figuring out kind of what should we do now, and I'm figuring out, do I really want to continue to work here? So that trickles down to Barnstable and, of course, Sandy Neck being involved. So all of the animals that I have collared, I'm free to monitor. I have 7 currently collared.
Oh, good. All right.
And 7 currently collared that I can track. There's many others. There's many others that are collared that I have no idea if someone killed them and smashed the collar, if they left on their own. And then the neatest report, which I messed up on, my son's birthday was in mid-March, and I couldn't follow up, but there's a group that does research in Rhode Island, and there was a sighting of a collared coyote west of their site in Rhode Island in Warwick, which is roughly southwestern Rhode Island. And they were convinced that it was one of mine, because I know the people, not one of theirs, because they put big fat GPS collars on theirs and the collar was too small. And so I went this past week, 3 weeks after they had seen it, and I couldn't find it. And unfortunately, the person, I think there's people that feed them there, and they come right up to the yards. All of the coyotes, 2 others, I should say, 2 others besides this collared one, still show up regularly in the backyard. And it was like one of my guys from the Cape visited, hung out with them for about 3 or 4 days, and then left. And I just, you know, with my other jobs and stuff, didn't follow up. So my guess is he's heading west. So that's the neatest sighting. So there are animals like that that I've collared. That one was actually collared in my yard this past fall. I suspect.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So 7 that I track, but there's other MIAs.
Now, there's nothing, there's no collared ones that you're tracking on the neck at this point then, right?
Correct, and I suspect there are none that would have collars either. There is an outside chance that 1 or 2 might have a collar, and it's dead, the collar's dead, or something happened, but I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case.
So you can still track them, the ones that have collars, even though you don't have a permit?
You don't need a permit to track. Yep, you need the permit to handle the animals, and that's the issue now.
Oh, so to trap them and to put the collar on, you need a permit. But once it's on, then you can continue.
Correct. Yep, so 7 of those in the town, mostly in the south side of the town.
So,
Jonathan Way had plenty of additional information on coyotes, and if you'd like to check it out, the Sandy Neck Board meetings are available on demand at the town's website, town.barnstable.ma.us.
And by the way, the Sandy Neck Board wanted folks in town to know that they have brand new merchandise for sale, including new hats and long-sleeve T-shirts as well.
Meanwhile, on the town calendar, the town council meets this evening at 7 o'clock in the town hall hearing room. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kevin Friel.
We'll meet you right back here tomorrow. I'm Mark Mumford.